Out of Left Field is brought to you in part by Coordinated Health Hazleton Campus. Better together. Welcome back to Out of Left Field. I'm Cara, and honestly, it means a lot that you're watching. We're going to start by going out and playing in the snow and meeting some new friends with a group of local runners. Every one of these runners has a story, a reason they're standing out here in the cold, excited about the idea of running around in the beautiful Conyngham Valley. The group formed about 3 years ago, and it started with Dan Nensteel and Rob Gould. The group's name, well, they're called,
And who are we with? What do you guys call yourselves, or do you have a name for the group, or
we've never
Dan Nensteel Running Club?
No, we've never really had a name.
What did Missy name?
Personal.
Greater Hazleton.
PR.
What does the shirt say? I forget.
Greater Hazleton
Running
Club? Is it
sure. But we never really had a name, you know.
So
we just kind of.
How did you get together? You informally got together?
Yes, we informally got together. It's more or less people are out running. I noticed Rob was running, so Rob and I started, and then it just kind of grew from there.
There's little formality when it comes to the group. There's no requirements to join, and there's no bylaws to live by. Attendance isn't mandatory. Some of them do try to run every day together, but others just show up on Saturday when the group meets at Whispering Willows Park in Conyngham.
Why come out in this element? Why do you do this?
It's more like an adventure when you're outside. When you're inside, even like on a treadmill, it's just, you're not going anywhere, you're not seeing a whole lot of stuff. I like to get out, see things. I don't know, mix it up. Hills, uphill, downhill.
Many members of the group have GPS watches, but they know this area like the back of their bare hand. They get together, decide how far they want to go, and pick one of their courses. Choosing a course was exactly what got Nensteel into running in the first place.
I started running because I was overweight. I was about 245 pounds. I was pretty nervous that my life was gonna head down a terrible path, so I just started running, and I ended up getting hooked. I loved it.
The other founding member of the group, Rob Gould, started running as a teenager for different reasons.
When I was 17, I joined the Marine Corps, and of course they make you run. But I'm in better shape now than ever before. I'm a better runner now than I ever was in the Marine Corps.
So did you like it when you were going out running with the Marine Corps?
Oh yeah, I enjoyed it.
Did anyone else?
The people that were good at it, I suppose.
I guess I'm trying to say, is it a different type of person who's a runner who would do something like this, or is this for everybody?
I think it'd be for everybody. It's a healthy lifestyle, so that's why I do it, and I like sharing it with everybody else. All of our group, or the kids at the YMCA, just sharing ways to be healthy.
And when you say you're a better runner now, why do you say that?
In the Marine Corps, we only ever ran 3 miles. Now, the distances have just gone up and up and up, and I do triathlons as well, and the distances for the running there is more than 3 miles, and this group will go out for 8 or 12 or whatever they want.
To join the group, you can just show up, or sometimes they find you.
I was actually at a half marathon in Allentown. I had been living in Conyngham for about 1.5 years, and Dan had run the same half marathon, and he spotted me at the finish and had spotted me as a Conyngham runner and approached me and said, hey, there's this group, you know, we run together, and if you'd like to join us, it's a lot of fun.
Megan Natali ran cross country at Marywood University. She got her start in running at Bishop Hayfie High School with Hazleton Sports Hall of Fame coach Tom Kostick.
I think he was a great influence and a great coach, and the team was, you know, very good and very cohesive, and everyone was supportive of each other, and that's the atmosphere I loved about cross country, and that's why I like that sport so much. After college, I ran by myself all the time. I never ran with a group. And once I met up with these guys, I realized how much I really loved it, and now I hate running on my own. I can't really do it without the group anymore. It's not as fun.
Natali's husband Joey is a talker with an infectious personality, but he wasn't much of a runner until they started dating.
And she's actually has a goal of running a marathon in every state. So right now she's done 15 of the 50 states, and I've always been the cheerleader. I hold the bags and I make the hotel reservations, and she just puts the shoes on and goes. But I guess I've wanted to kind of dabble in it myself a little bit. You know, there's not really a lot of negative aspects of running, except time. You know, you need the time to do it. And of course you get sore. But running, has a lot of really great qualities. So there's not really a lot of negatives that go along with running.
Now Joey Natali is a member of the running group and even finished a half marathon.
Oh, how'd I get through it? Well, she did it with me. I ran it with my wife.
She ran it with you at your pace?
At my pace, yeah. So she ran it with me at my pace. So, things would get hard, and she'd be like, come on, you can do this. I know you can do it, and she was really great. It's really great to run with a buddy. And I think that's what this group's really great for, is that you're actually running with a group of people that really that are going through the exact same thing that you're going through. They're huffing and puffing and trying to breathe. And
this group has become your friends. They're at your Christmas party.
Very much so. Yes, very much so. They're, you talk the whole time while you're running. So you're talking about your day, your life, your family, your friend. Like you're talking. So you're making friends. So that's what's really great about it. And you're not doing it by yourself, because by yourself sometimes, oh man, it's like a lot of outside for you. I got an overwhelming response from my half marathon. Everybody was super supportive. I'm very proud. I have a lot of medical family history where it's like a lot of bad things like high blood pressure, diabetes, things like that. So running always kind of is a thing where it's like, well, I really should do this, not just because it makes me skinnier, but it also keeps me here a little bit longer, which is nice.
Lindsay Walsh always wanted to be a runner, but says she had a hard time catching her breath and that impeded her. She also says she always admired runners, and maybe that's why she married Kevin Walsh. Lindsay really got into running when she wanted to lose some weight for their wedding.
I married into running. My husband's a state champion with the Bishop Hayfie cross country team. I think it was 1999. And he ran at Bucknell track and cross country as well. So while we were dating, I was always around runners, and I don't know.
Was there peer pressure from him?
There was no peer pressure, no. He was supportive when I said I wanted to do it. But when I said, would you be my coach? And then I said, let's go out for a run. He was like, let's sit on the couch and eat chips. I was like, well, you're not being helpful. And you said, where is he? He is at home watching our children, so I could be out here getting my exercise. He'll run later by himself.
Jimmy Diem also fell for a runner. So while many of them have similar reasons for getting started, they have different motivations to keep them going once the actual running begins.
How do you keep going through this hill?
I think it's really that I just like to eat more than I like to do literally anything else. So
this helps you eat more.
That's the bottom line.
What do you think about when you're running? What's going through your mind when you're out there? What's the usual? Is it motivation to keep going? Is it stuff that you're relaxing about? Is it stuff you have to get done in your life? What's going on?
It kind of depends on the day. Sometimes my mind, being a mother, I'm a stay-at-home mom of 2 little girls. When I get outside to run, that's my chance to actually have long, drawn-out thoughts without being interrupted or distracted. So I really enjoy having the time to just think long thoughts. But sometimes it could be, this really hurts, or I'm really cold and I want to stop, but no, we're not going to stop. I got to keep going. I got to make another mile, or I'll just make it to the next stop sign and then I can walk. Or so sometimes it's that motivation and pushing. Other times, what I have to do, or I don't know. It's just kind of, that's a nice part of it. It's just freedom to think, listen to the sounds outside, things like that.
They can run at different paces with different motivations, but together they always get to the finish line. And maybe they don't have a name for their group, but you can label them all as friends. The group really is that friendly, and they would be thrilled if you stop by to run with them on a Saturday or at a local race. In fact, they wanted me to tell you about a group of 8 local races, and to find that information, you have to go to the Valley Running Club's website, and yes, they are a separate group. Coming up next on Out of Left Field, we'll take you to a very special night for Tamaqua Area sophomore Zeke Wassell. Out of Left Field is brought to you in part by Coordinated Health Hazleton Campus. Better together. Welcome back to Out of Left Field here on SSP TV. I cover a lot of sporting events, and every time I hear the national anthem, I look around and I wonder what everyone's thinking about. Are they thinking about their grandfather who served in the military, or maybe a loved one who's overseas right now? I know what I'll be thinking about from here on out when I hear the Star Spangled Banner, and here it is.
was it missing his games?
It was terrible because it's we're like each other's best friends and support channel. So just getting a text message, be it at 3 o'clock in the morning, was all I had this time last year.
Do you worry about her? I mean, what are your thoughts when she's over there? Obviously, she's thinking of you. How much of it?
I always think of the worst situation possible. So when she first left, I would cry and stuff, but she'd send me letters and say everything was going to be okay.
Sergeant Kerr, post!
He thought, he actually told my cousin's in the middle of working the table, and she texted me. She's like, yeah, Zeke said that you brought everybody here to watch his last home game. I'm like, that's awesome. No.
Amanda Kerr was never able to surprise her son Zeke Wassell. That is, until tonight. Wassell had no idea that before tip-off of his first varsity basketball game, he would be participating in a promotion ceremony for his mother. For the first time, he would get to witness in person one of his mother's professional accomplishments, as she was promoted to Sergeant First Class.
I actually contacted the athletic director and told him I wanted to surprise my son and let him do my final promotion since he never got to see it and I wasn't here for his last season. So hopefully that made up for me being gone a little bit of the time.
It was really neat for Zeke and his mom to see that promotion that she got. You know, it was special for Zeke. Zeke had no idea of it coming in, and his mom surprised him, and it was pretty neat to see. And it's important that we respect and we pay tribute to people that fight for our freedom.
As a single mom, it's nice to give back to your kids too, and to show him that I'm proud of him, and to let him know, you know, that I work hard and that everything I do and every decision I make, I think about him first. So I think that he deserves to be there for my accomplishments, and that I'll always be there for his accomplishments as well. There's so many people that have supported my son over the years. My mother, my father, who recently passed away, a lot of his friends are here. So many people have offered to help with my son while I was gone, and a lot of those people were here tonight, and I think they also deserve to see what I've accomplished as well.
How long are you home until now?
I'm home for good.
Home for good. How does that feel?
Outstanding. I will not leave him anymore.
Sergeant First Class Amanda Kerr's mother, Ilona Kerr, was also part of the promotion ceremony. She says she knows her husband didn't want Amanda to join the military, but she also seemed very certain when she made this statement.
Very last thing, how proud are you of both of them? She gets awarded the highest you possibly can, yeah, and your grandson gets the dress for varsity basketball tonight.
I'm so proud of both of them. You know, my husband and Amanda's dad passed away in November, and he came to every athletic activity, and he just would have been so proud of both of them. I mean, to see Zeke be able to dress for varsity tonight would have just been awesome for him. It's awesome for me. And to see her promoted like she was, it's just amazing. God is good.
You know, when you go overseas and when you hear it, when you're back here and you see everybody standing there, it means a lot more to you.
Far away from familiar arenas and fields, sports are very important to many members of our military serving overseas.
It's one thing we always do. We do watch a lot of sports, play a lot of sports, a lot of people work out, and it just keeps us going. And one thing, be it 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, getting a text hearing that my kid, you know, had a touchdown, made a basket, hit a home run, it just brought your spirits up.
However, even with the text, Kerr was devastated in the fall when she had to miss Zeke's first few games as a member of the varsity football team. But she did make it to one of the last games of the season.
Really upset when she missed football. She said she almost cried. Why is football so important, and did you know that?
When I was a baby, I sat my head up when I was first born, and she said he's going to be a football player. So ever since then, it's been my favorite sport.
Actually, that was one conversation me and his dad had, was what type of athlete would he be? And I made a comment, what if he's just an overall athlete? And he pretty much is.
During the fourth quarter, Zeke Wassell hit a three-pointer to score his first varsity points. Zeke didn't need to send a text after the game. His mother was sitting on the same side of the court where he made the shot.
Tell me about your mom a little bit. If you had to describe her, we saw the ceremony tonight, she got praised. What is she like? What kind of mom? What kind of person is she?
She's the best person you can have. She's the best role model, and she makes me want to do that when I'm older, and I love her to death.
Up next on Out of Left Field, we mix the movie Top Gun with some bowling. Out of Left Field is brought to you in part by Coordinated Health Hazleton Campus. Better together. Thanks for coming back to Left Field. Track is a term that means the most used part of a bowling lane, creating a path to the pins. We're about to learn some more bowling terms, and here's some Top Gun quotes. I don't imagine you have any questions, so I won't even ask. Good luck, gentlemen. I'll see you in the air. Class dismissed. Just kidding. Stick around. Here comes the story. Looking like a fleet of aircraft carriers side by side, these 7 lanes at the Bowl Arena in West Hazleton are filled with noise and activity. We're about to get really close to the action as we take a highway to the target zones.
The area that we're standing in the bowling arena in Hazleton is down close to the lanes on lane 16, and what this is going to show is how critical target marks are in bowling. A lot of people think it's power, it's the type of ball, the cover stock, but that's only part of the technique in throwing a good balanced ball and mechanics of throwing that ball. So one of the key elements is that we try to show the bowlers firsthand the critical area, or the arrow area, the board counts of where they turn around, all down in here where the arrows are. These are all individually counted boards starting from this channel going across. It would be the first board, second board, third board, fourth board. Fifth board has the first arrow, and so on. So we assign areas in this area for a ball on a bowler to go to that area to hit a target mark to see how it finishes out down at the end. Now here's your lefty. She hung outside, she missed her mark. Her mark is normally the second arrow. She should have been dead center of that ball over that arrow. The ball will turn because of the weight block system, and it'll come in. She hung out past the first arrow, the 5 arrow, where the ball carried down in the oil and didn't have opportunity to react or turn. So now she's going to come in closer to the 20 board for the pickup. Came across the 10, traveled out between the 15, ball reacted, turned right where it needs to be. She makes the spare.
In the movie Top Gun, I'm sure Commander Tom Jordan, aka Stinger, had files on all of his pilots. Evans has extensive files on all of his bowlers. Let's open up the file on senior Mike Walters.
Mike Walters, when he came into the program 3 years ago as a freshman, he's a senior this year. One of the things that he brought was inconsistent throw pattern, was a normal arm swing thrower, along with his teammate, Aaron. 16-pound ball, was throwing it at 24 miles an hour. Uncontrollable. Can't get the pocket, couldn't make spares. That's where he was at in his freshman year. As a senior, we have developed him his freshman year into a two-handed deliverer, what they call as a Belmonte-style thrower. Belmonte is the PBA pro that started that style throwing. It's actually a single-hand release, but there's a guide hand in front of it that comes off before the backhand pushes and delivers the ball. That's why it looks like a two-hand delivery.
So Walters had the need for speed, but what he really needed was control, and the Belmonte style helped him out with that, and it's turned him into one of the better bowlers on the team. So we have two Belmonte style bowlers on Hazleton area, Walters and Aaron Allen. Let's call them Maverick and Goose. Spoiler alert, if you never saw the movie Top Gun, cover your ears, I'll give you a second. Alright, at the end of the movie, the main character Maverick doesn't win the Top Gun award, but he eventually wins everyone's respect. The Cougars and Lady Cougars have earned respect. Now they are going after a state championship trophy, and their script is still being written. We started the show talking about an interesting group of people, runners, and now we're going to meet another interesting group of people, race car drivers. Let's learn all about the local racing culture at the NEPA Race Car Show at the Laurel Mall. This is Tony Hilliard, a race car driver from Hazleton. This is also Tony Hilliard, a race car driver from Hazleton. And yes, he was doing the hand thing from Talladega Nights. We'll get to that. But first, let's explain this cardboard cutout of Hilliard. His friend and teammate Scott Adams owns a graphic design business called Himmer Graphics, and Adams made the cutout and presented it to Hilliard at a surprise birthday party. Now back to Talladega Nights.
I mean, it's just more like the funny side of everything. You know, it was a good movie. You know, you got your other ones like Days of Thunder and everything. There's more of a serious side to it, but the Talladega Nights thing, you know, with the hands and stuff, you know, you can't beat that. It's a fun time. So, I mean, it's not all about business and, you know, racing. So, I mean, the biggest thing is that we have good friends and good people around us.
Hilliard met Adams when he was looking for someone to letter his first car. Soon after that, the Himmer Graphics team was formed.
Did you expect to have a racing team?
No, not really. You know, we actually started, I raced modifieds for a few years, went back to doing some four-cylinders just for fun. It was a little more economical, and kind of got hooked up with these guys. I had some extra cars, and we just kind of all jumped in them. But yeah, I mean, you go to the racetrack and you form some good friendships and have fun.
When asked why people should come and watch local racing, one of the first words out of Adams' mouth was fun. But that's not all he had to say.
You know, local racing it's just fun. You know, there's a lot of you watch NASCAR, there's just a lot of corporate stuff going on. Stuff can't be said. Local racing, you get to see a little more grassroots, you know, fighting and yelling and everything else. Not that I encourage it.
There's some serious racing going on at tracks around our area, mixed with the fun. Hilliard will perfectly illustrate that fact while explaining his nickname that's printed on his tuxedo t-shirt.
All right, tell me a little bit about you, man. You came, you dressed up for the occasion here.
Yeah, I mean,
and this is official. I mean, it actually has the shirt on there, or the name on there, and graphics.
Yeah, I mean, we got the Himmer Graphics and the Hitman. That's the track nickname we got for me. So, and it's a tuxedo T-shirt. You know, I like to be formal, but I also like to party. You know, so I mean, that's how that one goes.
How'd you get the nickname?
I don't know if we really want to discuss that one on camera. I mean, you can almost kind of tell the Hitman series. There are some videos out there of how it goes together.
And what track were you talking about when you said at the track?
We raced predominantly 2 years ago at Mountain Speedway up in Drums. So that was our home track. We had there was a couple teammates of us, and I stuck up for everybody, so on and off the track, so I became the Hitman.
The Ward family is also tossed around a lot when talking about local racing. Like any family, they have their disagreements, but they stick together. To keep the family going, there's a new generation coming up, and it includes Adam's son and this young man, 11-year-old Jacob Balliot.
Why did you get started? How did you get started?
I grew up watching my godfather race modifieds, and it looked fun.
Who's your godfather?
Donnie Wagner.
Okay, and where did you see him race at?
Mahoning Valley Speedway.
All right, so did you go to your parents and say, I want to do this? How did that get started?
We went to a quarter midget track to see if I wanted to race quarter midgets, and I borrowed a friend's car, and he let me go out on the track with it and race it, and I liked it.
What'd you like about it? Why do you like it so much?
They're going fast.
How fast do you go?
In my fastest car right now, I go about 40 mile an hour.
What was it like when you first did it? Was it scary? Was it fun? Was it ever scary?
Sometimes when I got in, like, for example, my World Formula, when the first time I got in that, I didn't know what to expect. It's probably the most powerful quarter midget motor. They also run them in micro stocks.
So how'd you get used to it?
Seat time.
All of the drivers you just met had a parent involved in racing. It's a sport all about people, family, and friends. So it's ironic that many of the cars these drivers spend so much time in don't even have passenger seats. Thanks for watching Out of Left Field, and thanks to Coordinated Health for helping us bring the show to you. I'm going to watch Top Gun, and then I'm going to sign up for a local race, probably the Community Services for Sight Trail Run. If you do that race and you beat me, you can host a segment on this show. I didn't clear it with the higher ups, but I'm Maverick, so who cares? It's going too far. We'll see you next time. Take it easy, everyone.